As High Potential continues to slay in the ratings following the unsurprising announcement of its season renewal, the writers desperately need to plan ahead for the show's return by making a drastic change to how they incorporate Morgan's kids into the storyline. Not only do her kids feel currently shoehorned into most episodes in which they appear, but it's beginning to feel as if the series may have forgotten why Ava and Elliot were such important inclusions in High Potential's story to begin with. The show may have a problem with side characters in general, with Morgan's breakup with Tom in High Potential Episode 9 raising questions about whether the show ever really had an arc planned for him in the first place. But the issue is more pronounced with Ava and Elliot, since Morgan only took her consulting job in the first place to better provide for her children. She more specifically took the job to help Ava find closure regarding Roman's disappearance. With High Potential Season 2 renewal now confirmed, the blueprint for involving Ava and Elliot in each episode's story is due for a change. High Potential should involve Ava and Elliot in Morgan's investigations. They both have more to offer than the show seems to realize. It took 10 episodes for the writers to expand on Elliot's role in High Potential, and it still feels like the character is used for little more than the occasional B-plot. The same is largely true of Ava, despite the fact that the disappearance of Ava's father is meant to be one of the show's most central storylines. Considering Ava's importance to the story and Elliot's similarities to his mother, both characters should be worthy of meatier roles. The best way to deliver that is to start involving them in Morgan's murder investigations while bringing a couple of children into a homicide investigation might sound like semi-reckless parenting. Each of Morgan's kids, besides Chloe, for obvious reasons, has a unique insight to offer. Elliot possesses Morgan's eidetic memory but gears it toward a different array of interests, while Ava can provide insights on youth and social media trends that Morgan and Karadec might not know about. Furthermore, there's precedent for using Morgan's kids in this fashion. HPI, the French series High Potential is adapted from, did this exact thing. HPI had Morgan's kids participate in investigations on multiple occasions. Elliot and Thea are frighteningly comfortable around a crime scene. Audrey Fleurot as Morgan Alvaro with Cyprien Gardin as Thea and Nuvandivord as Elliot in HPI. In a very similar vein to High Potential, French-Belgian series HPI follows Morgan Alvaro as she consults with police in return for them looking into the disappearance of her daughter Thea's father, Roman. Also like High Potential, Morgan's son Elliot is established as sharing her unique intellectual gifts. The main difference between the two shows is that Morgan frequently keeps her children informed about her cases and accepts their feedback. She even brings them to the occasional crime scene, albeit usually when High Potential's unsung hero Ludo simply isn't around to babysit. Involving Morgan's children reveals more about each character's thought process without having to slow the forward momentum of the plot. This is especially evident in Season 2, Episode 2, in which Morgan takes Elliot and Thea on a stakeout to play a game called Weird Not Weird. The kids' observations about strangers' seemingly odd behaviors say a lot about how the children look at the world, but Morgan's explanations for those same weird behaviors also help the viewer better understand her mindset as an investigator. It would be great to see this same dynamic in High Potential. How High Potential could justify Morgan's kids getting more involved. Captain Pacheco already paved the way for the perfect Season 2 storyline. Selena Soto, Judy Reyes, Chief Pacheco, Keith David, and Lieutenant Mellon, Garrett Dillahunt, in High Potential Season 1, Episode 11. Although High Potential could easily follow in HPI's footsteps by bringing Morgan's kids more effectively into the story, it does have one or two extra roadblocks ahead of it. HPI always characterized Morgan as the type to bring her kids to a crime scene, but Morgan is a slightly more responsible parent than her French counterpart. Fortunately, Season 2 of HPI provides a roadmap for including Elliot and Ava in Morgan's investigations that High Potential may have already set up perfectly. In HPI, Alvaro brings her kids along for a stakeout because she's under investigation and not allowed to work her cases officially. She, therefore, has to go rogue and bring her kids along as she investigates from home. After Lapt Captain Pacheco's introduction in High Potential Episode 11, it's clear the Lapt is not yet fully convinced of Morgan's value as a consultant. This provides the perfect excuse for setting up the same storyline as HPI. It's not only an opportunity to bring Ava and Elliot onto the scene without feeling overly forced, but this storyline would also move Morgan's arc ahead in a meaningful way that could impact her future as a consultant. This would further elevate Ava and Elliot's importance by involving them in a story arc with potential consequences for the overall premise of the show. Why High Potential needs more Ava and Elliot moving forward. Morgan's kids are the only reason she took this job in the first place. Ava, Elliot, Ludo, Morgan, and Chloe playing a tabletop game in High Potential. It merits repeating that Morgan only took this job for her kids. Not only did she want to provide better for them financially, But what happened to Roman in High Potential is established as a mystery Morgan takes on primarily because she's worried about Ava's resentment toward the man who disappeared on them. The show can't land its Roman plotline effectively without establishing a stronger emotional foundation for Ava, so finding any way possible to give her more screen time would be ideal. This will especially be the case if High Potential follows HPI by resolving this plotline in Season 2. And on top of that, High Potential simply feels a bit fractured at the moment. For instance, Episode 12 explores how Morgan's hectic work schedule affects Ludo, yet Ava and Elliot feel almost like afterthoughts in that storyline despite the fact that it clearly affects them directly. By involving them in the central mystery of each episode, the series can explore their reactions to Morgan's new profession without cutting away from the core mystery entirely. It's the perfect method for addressing some of the series' largely ignored emotional arcs in a much more sensible and streamlined way. Enjoy Screen Rant's primetime coverage? Click below to sign up for our weekly Network TV newsletter. Make sure to check Network TV in your preferences and get the inside scoop from actors and showrunners on your favorite series.